Right now on 13 News at 5, severe weather wreaks havoc in our region. We have team coverage.
And the Bluegrass State prepares for the Run for the Roses and the 150,000 spectators it brings to Churchill Downs.
Working for you. 13 News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jennifer Abney.
And I'm Patrick Simon. We do have breaking news to bring you at this hour. Severe weather has been moving all across our area. We have news crews on the scene. But before we take you live for our team coverage, we want to send you over to Chief Meteorologist Spencer Atkins.
He's in our severe weather lab right now, where we understand Storm Tracker 13 is actually tracking storms now.
Yeah, absolutely. We still are. And we have a new round of storms in eastern Kentucky coming in behind the severe weather. We've been streaming since about 1:30 between Facebook and our webpage. And here we are now looking at what appears to be some new growth of clouds out to the southwest of the Huntington area. We did have some severe storms. We have this severe thunderstorm watch that's good until 10 o'clock. But our area has actually been cleared for the most part from the watch. Although what's interesting is when we see the radar here, we can't rule out a strong to potentially severe storm in the very short term from Louisa to Prestonsburg to Pikeville, because there was a little clearing here and then the regeneration of some storms. I don't think that will be severe once it crosses into West Virginia. The strongest cell right now is up near the Elkins area, and this one is the same group of storms that came through and dropped a good bunch of some hail. Again, a gusty thunderstorm right here south of Louisa on US 23 all the way down to Prestonsburg. So if you're thinking about driving between the two towns, let's wait half an hour and then that'll be gone and through there and not risk having to contend with that. On the bigger picture, there's not much back behind this, which is fine for now. The overall motion over the next hour on future radar takes that new round of storms just south of Huntington into Wayne County, and those move away. But again, I think the weekend. Look at this hail. That was the track of the hail that worked its way on through, and it was heaviest right there from Milton through Hurricane, through Tays Valley. Then it went on up here through the area around Sissonville and up to Doddtown. And we're going to check in on some of that hail and some of the damage. We had some flooding too. Meteorologist Joe Fitzwater was with me earlier inside, and now he's outside in Putnam County. What are you seeing around you, Joe?
There's a limb coming through the top of that.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we saw those scattered showers and thunderstorms make their way across the region earlier this afternoon. As we were making our way into Putnam County, this is where we are now, here just at Marina Park, and you can see quite a bit of damage here. These storms made their way across the region, dropping some big-time hail down, as well as those gusty winds. You can see that tree that has fallen down on this gentleman's house, this mobile home here, and again, quite a bit of damage being reported in this part of the county. This is in between Hurricane and Tays Valley here in Putnam County. A lot of power outages still in the thousands being reported. And again, these storms came through with quite a bit of fears just a short while ago, right around the 2 o'clock time frame. We saw those wind gusts as high as 65, 70 miles per hour. We've seen some of those hail reports as high as we saw on our Barron triple threat earlier this afternoon in the 3-inch range. Now, we haven't seen any hailstones here in this area. They'd already melted, but you can see on some of those the cars and vehicles, we've gotten some reports from some of the neighbors that some of their cars were dented as a result of some of the hail that came down. We actually had a neighbor that showed us one of the photos that he took, and some of those hailstones looked like they were around golf ball size. So again, big time hail. We saw big time winds down here in Putnam County. The storms continued to make their way across the area to the north and east, across parts of Kanawha and Roane counties. So again, it was quite a damaging event that took place here in terms of the severe weather. We're going to continue to keep an eye on things as well as watch for new reports that surface coming up later on this evening. But for now, here in Putnam County, I'm Joe Fitzwater working for you. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much. The storm system swept over Charleston as well.
Yeah, take a look at some video that we shot right outside our 13 News TV station on Quarrier Street earlier today. As you can see, the strong winds and the rains just dousing the city of Charleston earlier today. And now we continue our team coverage with more of the damage from the earlier severe weather in Milton.
And that's where we find our Tiffany Lopez. She joins us now live with more from Milton. Tiffany.
Hey, good evening. I'm right off the Milton exit of I-64, and I'm at Darrell Sargent Park. And take a look behind me. You can see Johns Branch Creek is definitely risen, and those creek waters are definitely strong over here. But the one thing that I want to show you that's really interesting is this. The storms completely uprooted this tree. Now, we drove street after street right after the storms first hit, and many of them were covered with water. Now, crews were doing the best that they could to keep the drains cleared so that the water could flow through. And we did see that one man appeared to have his car in the water. I also spoke to longtime Milton resident Debbie Huffman. Her father lost his church due to floodwaters years ago. She says that it floods like this a lot, but she hasn't seen it this bad in quite some time. And she says she's scared every time it happens.
Every time it rains, I move my car up the road because we lost the truck and a van.
How'd that happen?
The water got up before we could move it.
Now, neighbors did tell me that those streets that we initially saw flooded, that water has now receded. We'll keep you updated with the latest weather information on our Storm Tracker 13 weather app. Reporting live in Milton, Tiffany Lopez, 13 News, working for you.
Tiffany, thanks so much. We have more weather video to pass along to you at this hour. Take a look at this video. It was shot along I-64. As you can see, the water has covered parts of the roadways. That was earlier today. If you have any weather pictures or video in your area, we would like it to see it. We'd like to share it. Just head on over to our 13 News Facebook page.
And we have outages right now to report at this hour. As you can see here, currently across the area, we do still have outages in Huntington, all across the Milton area as well. So people without power at this time. For more information on the outages and to get a clearer picture of when you can also expect those outages to the power to come back on, go to our website. We have it all there for you, wowktv.com/weather app.
And 13 News is working for you for all your up-to-the-minute information about weather and outages in your area. Please don't forget to download the Storm Tracker 13 app. You can find it on Apple and Google Play.
And while severe weather sweeps across our region today, the people impacted by the 2016 floods are still looking for relief. Victims across West Virginia are being urged to check their insurance policies, which may be expiring soon. After those 2016 floods devastated much of the state, FEMA offered free flood insurance for the next 3 years. Those policies will expire in late August, and people are being advised to convert them to private insurance policies with a local agent. Otherwise, they may not get help if disaster strikes again.
People have been more concerned about getting their homes rebuilt, their property, reconstructed. So now's the time when these policies go away. If they don't convert those policies, the next time there's a flood, they won't be eligible for FEMA relief.
And even though FEMA insurance policies do expire on August 24th, the commission says it's a lengthy process to get private flood insurance, so people should start converting those policies as soon as possible. And we'll continue our flood coverage for you in just a moment. But first, U.S. Senator Joe Manchin has a special economic announcement to deliver to the Mountain State.
And that's where we find our own Hannah Getz. She's at the Shawnee Sports Complex to tell us more about it live this evening. Hannah?
And Jennifer, good evening. And to deliver that special news today, I have alongside me Kanawha County Commissioner Salango. So tell me about this. We have to read it off of here together because it has a long name. Big announcement, the 2020 U.S. Youth Soccer Eastern Regional Championship is coming right here to the Kanawha Valley.
It is. We've been working for about a year to make this happen, and U.S. Youth Soccer awarded us the bid about 2 weeks ago. We're going to co-host with the city of Barboursville, 300 teams from about 15 different states. The economic impact from this tournament alone is $20 million. So the total of the 4 tournaments that the U.S. Youth Soccer has awarded us is $56 million over the period of 2 years. So we're very excited.
And I know Senator Manchin was saying that he wants to make this the youth soccer capital of the world. Our hotels are going to be filled. The restaurants are going to be filled. People are going to be swarming in here, thousands of players from across the country.
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. We'll have about 15,000 people come in at one time for the Eastern Regional. And really, there's no other complex in the Eastern United States that can handle this type of volume. So we had to partner with Barboursville, and they've done this before when it was a smaller tournament. So we had to team up to do it. Now that it's a larger tournament, we're doing it in 19 and in 20. So it's very exciting.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have more for you guys later this evening. Pat and Jennifer, back to you.
It's some exciting news. Hannah, thanks so much. All eyes will be on Churchill Downs tomorrow for the Run for the Roses. The first leg of horse racing's Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby, happens tomorrow night at Churchill Downs. The race was first held back in 1876 before a crowd of about 10,000. Well, this year's edition is expected to bring more than 150,000 spectators to that track. Last year's Derby was quite memorable as Justify started his successful quest for the Triple Crown. He was the champion, and this year 20 horses will take the track. Odds makers now say Game Winner is a slight favorite to win.
The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow, but as Pat mentioned, you may have a tough time actually placing bets within West Virginia. Delaware North, who owns the Mardi Gras Casino in Kanawha County and the Wheeling Island Casino in the Northern Panhandle, is locked in a legal dispute over sports betting. The casino is contracted with a company known as Miomni, which actually provides the sports betting app and the platform. But technical problems developed and sports betting at the two casinos went offline. That means the state will lose out on badly needed revenue.
And we had a situation in West Virginia where we were out in front of everybody else. We were doing well, but unfortunately, because of a contract dispute, our mobile betting platform is now down, and we've missed out on a ton of revenue for West Virginia, and that really is going to hurt our numbers whenever the year ends out.
Keep this in mind, sports betting is available at the three casinos in West Virginia, but they don't have a cell phone app that will allow you to place bets from there, so you do have to do it in person.
Investigators say carbon monoxide may have caused the deaths of 4 family members at a home in central Ohio. Officials in Genoa Township say first responders went to a home shortly before 1:30 p.m. yesterday after receiving a call from a concerned relative. The family members haven't been identified at this time.
An Ohio high school student won't be attending his prom, the consequence of a racist promposal sign. Maya Belay has details.
Belleville school officials in disbelief over what they call a racist promposal sign now gaining widespread condemnation.
To be frank with you, I thought, oh my goodness, this is awful.
Janice Wyckoff is the Clear Fork Valley local schools superintendent.
Kids need to understand that when you're celebrating things, it doesn't give you a pass on using inappropriate racial slurs.
The Snapchat picture shows a high school student and his intended prom date holding a sign that reads, quote, "If I was black, I'd be picking cotton, but I'm white, so I'm picking you for prom."
This is a process. Growing up is a process, and this is one of those moments that's a teachable moment for this kid that will last a lifetime.
The superintendent says the student was given a verbal warning about the sign once it became known, but she would not say if further disciplinary action is planned. Aside from the student will not be attending prom.
I don't believe that this is any groupthink on the part of the student body. This is one person making a bad decision that's going to reflect on everybody. This is actually a terrible day in Clear Fork Valley.
And that was Maya Belay reporting. Nurses and technicians at an Ohio hospital say they are ready to strike next week if they can't reach an agreement with management. About 2,200 workers at Mercy Health St. Vincent Medical Center in Toledo say that they will strike Monday if issues can't be resolved. The biggest concerns are mandatory overtime policies and health care costs. The hospital is one of the largest in Toledo.
State vendors who owe West Virginia taxes won't get paid under a new government rule. The state auditor hopes that the rule will end up with West Virginia getting millions of dollars in overdue tax bills. There's a similar program in place on the federal level. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin is hitching his wagon to President Donald Trump in his first television ad of his re-election campaign. The Republican governor's campaign team says the ad will air during the Kentucky Derby. Trump won Kentucky by a landslide in 2016 and remains popular in the bluegrass state. Kentucky's primary election is coming up May 21st.
More than 20,000. That is the estimated number of people in the military who experienced unwanted sexual contact last year, everything from groping to rape. It's long been an issue, but a new report released by the Pentagon shows it's gotten worse. In fact, sexual assaults across the U.S. military jumped nearly 38% from almost 15,000 in 2016 alone. Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan called the latest findings unacceptable.
Coming up on 13 News at 5, a new option for breast cancer patients could provide less invasive procedures.
Still some storms in and around our area. Spencer takes a look at that coming up in your forecast heading into the weekend.
And let's take a look at traffic right now. You can see a big buildup here at Institute Hill on I-64. Some wet roadways across the region to deal with as well. We'll keep an eye on it for you. You're watching 13 News at 5. Stay with us.